So thanks for coming along, Lali, this afternoon to talk to us. And your company is Ocean Weddings Spain.
Yes.
Thank you very much for coming along. And you're going to share your 5 top tips for planning a destination wedding in Spain. So what would your first tip be?
Well, my first tip is set a budget and trying to stick with your budget. Make sure when you stick a budget, you leave a little bit just in case at the end of the planning process you need an extra money because maybe you decided that you want to have something special on your wedding day. So always make sure you leave a little bit extra just for an emergency, just if you need anything else.
Right. So when they meet you and you're planning, they always see something extra and they think, oh yes, I want that. So they need a little bit of a contingency.
Yeah, so that's always good. Let's say a 10% or 50% or something like that out of your budget just for an extra.
Right. Okay. 10 to 15%. So what next? What comes next after the budget?
Yeah, after you set your budget, you need to also be very clear on what sort of your money you're going to spend or who's going to pay for your wedding. For example, is it you going to pay for your wedding or your mom and dad are going to contribute to your wedding or any other member of the family? So you need to be very clear what sort of your budget is going to be for every different things that you might need on your wedding. Also, you need to sort of think about if you want to pay for your guests, if, for example, you want to pay for accommodation, or you want to do like a pre-party or an after-party, or your budget is entirely to the wedding. So that's something that you need to think about it.
Right. I suppose if you're going to pay for friends and families, flights, accommodation, then that's going to come out of the budget towards what you can arrange for them. So that's something, that you need to carefully think about. Yeah. So that's 2. What's next?
Next is you have to set a date. So I know maybe that's a bit confusing because you don't know whether to get married in the spring, summer, autumn. Hopefully here in Spain we have a beautiful weather from April all the way to October. So you can sort of think what day you want to choose. Then once you set up a date, you always have to confirm with your wedding planner. So she'll be able to guide you and recommend you what is the best time to get married, because some of the venues, they do offers depending on the time of the year. So that's another thing you need to consider regarding your budget. So that would be your I think we're on the 3rd tip, aren't we?
Third tip, yeah. So confirm with you.
Yes, always with the wedding planner.
So you can advise them time of year.
Exactly.
And so to actually confirm with you and make sure that they've got you for that day, then how do they go about that?
Yeah, once you confirm your date, I will send a contract and you will have to pay me a deposit just to secure your date. So I'm going to be free for you that day. Then once this normally involves signing a contract, you send me your passport numbers, I send you my account, and then we'd all just sign a contract.
Right.
Then once this is done, then we can start sort of planning the wedding.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And then what about venues?
Okay. With venues, I have let's say 2 different types of clients. The clients that they give me a budget and they say, right, this is our budget. What can we do with this budget? And they're like open mind regarding to venues. So I normally give them a few suggestions, 2, 3, 4 suggestions on what I think they might like. And also there's another clients that they just want to get married on a specific location. Let's say a beach wedding or a hotel or a private villa. So depending on the budget, I always give my best advice on which one is the venue. for them.
Right.
Yeah.
So some people come to you, they know exactly where they want to go, they know exactly what they've got to spend, and this is what I want. And others, this is what I've got, what do you suggest?
Yeah, some people, they just don't know what they're going to get with their budgets, because they probably think the budgets they get in their countries is like limited. Maybe when they do a destination wedding, they find out that they can get more value with money, or they can get like different options. So that's always good.
Right. And
that's always good. Yeah.
Who confirms the date with the venue? Would that be you confirming the date, or would they need to go to the venue?
Well, normally I do. I suggest to do a tour, so they come in out. Once I send them the options, then we sort of make down to 3 to 4 options. So I always suggest to come over, have a chat with me, and do what I call a tour. So we go through all the different venues, and they get the feel of the venue they like, because sometimes you need to be in the place just to get the feeling if you like it or not. Yeah. So I always recommend that, to have a good chat, have a look around on every single venue, and then just go home and go to your hotel and think about it. And then once you know what you want, then you give me a call again, and then I will do all the paperwork regarding the venue, and then I'll confirm the date. And also you will have to pay a contract. You have to pay that deposit and a contract with the venue to secure your date.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens next? Once they've secured you, they've secured their venue and the dates. Yeah. Then what happens?
So then is when is the fun part of the wedding, which is start booking your suppliers and start thinking what you want, what you need. So there are like mainly 5 main things to are essential to a wedding. One is the food, catering. Regarding with catering, some depending on where you're getting married, some of the venues have their own catering, and if you're getting married in a private villa, you have to hire a caterer from outside.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then we always do food tastings, even if it's on the venues or if you hire a caterer. Normally the food tastings takes place before the wedding season, from January to April.
Right.
So you have to, because it is easier for everybody.
Yeah, I suppose wedding season, they're busy, aren't they?
Exactly. And then the next thing is, you have to decide which type of ceremony would you like to have, regarding a church or regarding a blessing or any other ceremony. So that's when it comes to you, because you are a celebrant.
Yeah.
Yes. So that's another thing you have to decide at the beginning. So I think you can tell us a little bit what is your part, or what the celebrant does.
Yeah, so a celebrant is obviously different to a minister or priest. That's in the church, and they have their set way of doing their weddings and blessings. Whereas with a celebrant, anything goes. So you can have what music you want, you can have it wherever you want, you can have it any time of day. You know, if you have a church wedding, it needs to be between this hour and this hour, but you can have it whenever you want. So I would write, as a celebrant, I would write the service around the couple's love story. If they wanted to have a prayer, they could have a prayer. I'm not a humanist. I'm not a humanist celebrant. I'm just a celebrant.
So what's the difference, if you can tell us a little bit?
A humanist will not mention anything to do with religion. So there will be no prayers, no hymns, no religious music, nothing, no anything to do with religion. Whereas with a celebrant, if you want to say a little prayer, or if you have a particular hymn that you like, you can have that. So, and then they will sit down and write the ceremony around what the couple want. And depending upon the type of ceremony they want, if they want a funny one, you know, some people want to dress up as characters. There's all different types of weddings. So there'll be different types of celebrants that will do those weddings.
And another thing, can you tell us a little bit about the rituals? Because a lot of the couples, they want to have like something special. What sort of rituals did they ask you, or what do you offer?
There's you can do a hand fasting, which is where people will hold and the celebrant will lay over ribbons or ropes, depending on what the couple choose in their colours. They can choose the colours they want. And then you tie them into the infinity knot, and that's where the term tying the knot comes from. There's the sand ceremony, where they can pour different coloured sands into a nice ornate jar. And that sort of denotes the two souls coming together as one. And once they're together, you can't take them apart. And it's very difficult to get the blue from the pink sand. You can't separate that sand once it's put in that jar. And then there's ceremonies like lighting the candles. Sometimes you get the mothers from both sides to come and light candles. Or you can have the Spanish arras ceremony, where you give the coins and explain the meanings as you go through. And some people like that because it's, if you're coming to Spain for your wedding, then you want a little bit of Spanish to go with that, a little bit of Spanish symbolism. So that's it. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah. So then once we decided, you know, the type of ceremony, which can either be in a church or can be like performed by you, then another thing we have to take in consideration is music. Music, entertainment, all the little things that you want to bring up to your wedding. Obviously, the main thing is a DJ, because after your dinner, everyone normally have a dinner. That's like everyone's choice. But then you can have different things. For example, on your ceremony, you could have a singer or somebody playing a violin or any other instrument. Another thing is for your cocktail or your reception, a lot of people choose to have like a Spanish guitar or maybe a saxophone. Or any other kind of music that they like. And then it's normally the DJ at the end.
Yeah.
So that's like that's another part on your wedding, like the entertainment. And then finally, like the other little thing that is very important is the photographer. Obviously, with the photographers, every couple is different. Some couples want like a particular style, or another couples want to have a photographer and a videographer. So that is something that they normally have a chat with me about what their style is, and then I usually recommend between 4 or 5 photographers, which I think they might like it.
Right.
So that's another thing. So that's like really the main things that you need to have a wedding in place. Then obviously you can have extras like flowers, favors, you know,
makeup, hair.
Yeah, makeup, hair, bridal
we all
card.
look lovely on our wedding day.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what sort of service do you provide? Do you do different packages, or do you just do the one service for your couples?
Yeah, well, I am what is called a bespoke wedding planner. That means I do not offer a package itself. Right. You know, like all the wedding planners, they offer packages with a set price. Right. So I don't do that, because I think every couple is different. Every couple wants a different thing, and then it's very difficult to accommodate to a certain budget. So I offer 3 services. One is called a full planning service, which means that the couple contact me from the very beginning, and I go from searching the venue, suppliers, coordination day, tour, everything for them. So that's one part. That's like one of my services. The second one is some of the couples, they like to book the venue themselves or the church, and they start, booking a few suppliers, but then down the line they get a bit lost because they can't find what they want, or they can get an available makeup or an available hair and makeup, or I don't know, any kind of suppliers that they just can't get available. So I offer what I call like a partial planning service, which I take over whatever they done, and then I can help them to find the right suppliers. And of course, coordination day. And then I offer a third package called coordination day only, which I take over the wedding a month before the wedding with everything they arrange. And I just contact all of them 2 weeks before the wedding, and then I coordinate the wedding. Because some couples, they done everything themselves, but then they think, oh, we want somebody to just have a professional touch on the wedding day, so we don't have to worry about, and we can relax and be with our friends and family.
Yeah. You want someone who's going to make sure everything flows as it should do, without going up to the bride and saying, oh, when do we do this? And do you want this now? You don't want that on your wedding day.
And sometimes it's difficult, especially when you're not in your country, and it's difficult to communicate because it's like a barrier with the language. So it's always good.
Yeah. Yes, I can tell you, I've been learning Spanish now for 18 months, 2 years, and it's very difficult it's okay, you go shopping, you can make yourself understood, but when you're trying to deal with suppliers on the telephone, it's very difficult if you
because now, I mean, I have to say pretty much everyone speaks English, but sometimes they get a bit nervous when they talk, or they just get like a broken English, and it's like a communication problem, barriers. It doesn't help when you try to organize a wedding. So it's always good to have a wedding or somebody that can.
Definitely. So what area do you cover? Do you cover the whole of Spain, or what do you cover?
Well, I'm based here in Malaga, so I cover the whole Malaga region, and I can do some weddings in Granada because it's quite near from Malaga, and also I could do some weddings in Seville, which is a bit far away because it's a big city, but mainly Malaga. That's the area I cover.
So that's from Estepona to
that's from like Estepona to Nerja, basically the whole Costa del Sol.
Right, lovely.
And
what types of venues do you work at? Do you offer?
Well, here in Malaga we have a big variety of venues. We have castles. We have historical buildings, we have hotels, we have private villas, cortijos, which is like a kind of Andalusian farmhouse, inland, haciendas. So we cover pretty much everything. So that's pretty much what I can offer. I can work with any venue, basically.
So you can always find something for someone.
Yeah, exactly.
So we always forget one thing when we're planning a wedding. I know I did. So if there was one top tip, if there's one thing you think about, this is it, what would it be?
Well, one of the thing is the time when you're getting married. Choosing the time. I know this is very difficult for a lot of couples because of tradition, or because the way they get married in their countries, they always choose, let's say, from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock to get married, which is fine in their countries because they're not that warm or hot. But here in Spain, from 2 to 5 is really hot. especially over the wedding season. Maybe not so hot in April, but when it comes to like June, July, August, even September, is really, really hot. So especially if you're getting married outside, you know, like in a beach or a garden or a villa, it can be you can get really, really hot.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the beach at 3 o'clock in the afternoon in a lovely big white dress. It's really, really warm, isn't it?
Because exactly. And you don't want your guests to, you know, especially the old people, to suffer because it's too hot. And so I really suggest that try to get married from 5 o'clock. Just try to avoid the 2 to 5 kind of hours to get married, because it's really, really hot.
Yeah.
So that would be like one of the things that probably nobody thinks about it, but then when it comes to the day, it really gets hot.
Yes.
So
And you know, when it's that hot, if you're on a beach, it burns your feet. You can't stand on the sand.
You can't. No, you can't.
It's so warm.
No. And also, for example, in beaches, at that time of the day, is always a breeze. So it kind of, if you're thinking of putting flowers and things, it might blow up, or you know. So it's just the little things that you have to consider.
Consider. Well, that's lovely, Lali. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
We'll put your details in underneath. And if people want to contact you, what's the best way to do it? By email or WhatsApp?
Yeah, they can send me an email. They can send me, I've got an Instagram page called Ocean Weddings Spain, so they can contact me through Instagram. I have a Facebook page. I have a Pinterest channel, or my email if you have a look on my website. So they can contact me in all my social media. So
we'll
if you have any questions,
then you can answer any questions they might have.
Okay.
Lovely.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Wendy.
Lali. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Bye.